Welcome to this session using MyCR to review over 200 online courses. My name is Ursula Pike. I'm the Associate Director of the Digital Higher Ed Consortium of Texas. And our speaker today is Pamela Darling-Facio. Just a housekeeping before we start. Closed captioning is available. If you click on the bottom toolbar on your screen, you should have the option for CC. It just says CC. And this session is being recorded and will be made available later on the Digitex YouTube page. So Pamela Darling-Facio has been teaching and facilitating online classes for over 25 years. She's also the Director of eLearning Accessibility and Compliance at Collin College. In her director capacity, she assists faculty with course development and ensures courses meet quality standards. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to talk today just about how Collin College has used the Quality Matters MyCR review system to conduct our own internal reviews at Collin. So as Ursula mentioned, I'm the Director of eLearning Accessibility and Compliance. I have also been an adjunct faculty member for Collin College as well as another institution for a long time, over 25 years. I'm the QM coordinator at Collin College. I'm also a course review manager as well as a peer reviewer. I am testing out a new tool here. We like to do this, test it out before we send it out to our faculty. So this is just a little poll. What is your role at your institution? You can either scan that QR code with your phone, or you can go online to menti.com and type in the code there, and it'll give you the option to answer that poll. So I'll just give it a minute and then I'll flip to the results of the poll. So I'm hoping this works as intended. So let me see here. Yeah, so great. So it's going to automatically update as we get new responses, but looks like most people are designers, a couple faculty members, and one administrator. So let's see if we get any more responses on this. All right, I'll go ahead and move on. So a little bit about Collin College. Collin College has 7 physical campuses. In the fall of 2021, we opened our virtual campus called iCollin. We offer all of our online courses now through iCollin. We only have 25 full-time faculty members in the virtual campus, but we utilize a lot of our other full-time faculty to teach our online classes, and they become part of the virtual campus through that process. In addition to the physical campus, we have 4 centers. One of them is our Public Safety Training Center, where we do our Fire Academy and Police Academy, as well as EMT and Paramedic. We service about 56,000 students in Collin County. We offer certificates, associate degrees, as well as we've recently started offering bachelor's degrees. We have a total of about 1,400 faculty that includes adjunct and full-time faculty, and about 1,300 staff, and that includes full-time staff, part-time staff, student assistants, and administrators. So we're not the largest one out there, but we're a larger district. So in looking at how we used MyCR, it started with our online advisory board. The online advisory board had already been in existence. It had been around since about 2006 with 12 members. All members are faculty, full-time faculty right now at Collin College. And they reviewed both hybrid and in-person that had online components, as well as online courses when they started looking at courses. They had a checklist in Excel that they had developed that looked at some standards, and they had 2 people on the review team that were looking at that. The purpose was to review online content to ensure that it had the same quality and rigor as an on-site course. Currently, we have 47 members, and it's across 42 disciplines. With COVID, we obviously had to increase that membership and change the way we did some of the course reviews. One thing that we started doing when COVID hit was only reviewing fully online courses. We didn't have time at that point to look at a course that was hybrid or blended. We could only really look at the online. We're hoping to be able to go back to looking at hybrid courses in the fall of 2022, but we're going to have to see what our status is at that time. The 47 members are across 42 different disciplines. Our goal is to have every division represented because they serve as the subject matter expert for the course. We have had to bring in non-OAB members to be subject matter experts for certain areas of specialty. We don't have anyone from the art area on the online advisory board. We've tried to recruit people, but we just haven't been successful there yet. So we'll bring in someone on a 1 or 2 review basis to do that. They're not an official member, but they'll help with the review as an SME. The other component of this is the eLearning Center, and that is where I work. I'm part of our eLearning Center. It's distance education, and it has evolved greatly since COVID as well. Our goal in the eLearning Center is to create and support dynamic, engaging teaching and learning experiences. We are a support center for faculty, staff, and students. We do assist staff with projects as well. We're part of the technology support department, and we actually report to the Dean of Technology Support. We support faculty, students, and staff via phone, email. We have staff on 4 of our main campuses, and we also started hosting a technology support Zoom room. Every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to noon and 2 to 5 p.m., we have an instructional designer in an open Zoom room. Faculty have access to that, and they can click the link at any time to get one-on-one help. We found it to be incredibly successful. It started during COVID, but it's great because faculty don't have to come to a physical campus now to get help. And I can't tell you how many times a faculty would show up in our offices needing help and then say, I forgot my flash drive. You know, it's back in Dallas. I got to drive 40 minutes to get it. Or they'll say, this isn't the kind of computer I have a Mac. So by doing the Zoom room, we actually share screens. We can take control of their screen, and they're able to click around and navigate to where they need to. We're also really fortunate in that we have a fairly large department, at least compared to what I'm used to at other institutions. I think it's a good sized department. Again, we have our dean, I'm the director. We also have 6 instructional designers. About half of those we call senior designers, and they have staff that report to them. We have a manager of projects and production, and that person has 4 instructional technologists that report to them, as well as 4 e-learning assistants. And the e-learning assistants are on our main campuses, and they are like the first point of contact. The e-learning assistants also work really closely one-on-one with students. When students have issues, they can't get into Canvas, they're not able to upload an assignment, whatever it might be, we can Zoom with those students, or they can come to a campus as well. Our instructional technologists have actually expanded quite a bit in the last couple of years, and they are working on more and more projects. Originally, their scope was projects that are only instructional in nature, but now they are working on things like a video tour of the library. Student advising is asking them to work on a course for them. We are going to be instituting Workday Students in the next 2 years. We have a 2-year plan for that, and they are heavily involved in developing training materials and deliverables that can be used by students and staff to work with Workday. COVID hit, and we decided we really needed to find a way to fast track and review the volume of courses that were coming into our online advisory board. We wanted to make sure that we were not sacrificing any quality. Quality was still going to be our #1 goal. So we made a couple of institutional decisions. One of those was to focus on templates.
Yeah, I talked to Taylor. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Let me mute that.
Okay. Our first goal was to really focus on templates. In the past, we would have faculty submitting a single course to the online advisory board for review. But with COVID, we said we're only going to do templates. We're not going to have faculty submitting single courses because we wanted to get the most bang for our buck and have a template that could be utilized by other faculty in the same area. So we did an audit to kind of look at what courses were being offered online, which ones already had a template, and which ones did not. The second thing that we did was making sure that our fast track did not circumvent the quality. We wanted to redesign our checklist, and it actually became quite a bit more robust. We really looked at our existing checklist that was an Excel document, as well as the Quality Matters rubric, and kind of merged the two together to come up with something that was in the middle. We also standardized some content, I'll talk about that a little bit, called our Canvas course framework. We created a Canvas course shell that's on Canvas Commons and can be dropped into any Canvas course shell. It provided a lot of structure and basic information for faculty developing a template. And it allows them to meet 10 of the checklist items automatically just by using the framework. So the Canvas course framework was the first thing that really came into play. What it did was, one, provided a streamlined navigation. It allowed, we have a lot of, as many institutions do, LTIs in Canvas that are very specific to certain departments. We have something called Soundtrap that's only for music. There's an econ lab that's only for economics. So we streamlined the navigation in the framework to only include those very basic things: announcements, home, modules, grades. And that made it much easier for students to not have to search through this long list of navigation. We created a module called Information for Adopters, and that is for faculty who are adopting the framework. They can automatically see how they need to use it. There's also links to publisher content on how to integrate the most common publishers, Cengage, Pearson, McGraw-Hill, into Canvas. So there's information directly there. And then also information on integrating Zoom into your Canvas course. That module is not published, and we tell faculty not to publish it as well. They can actually delete it once they've adopted the framework. Another module within the framework was the course information. This includes a sample syllabus, and then also information about core objectives assessment, because those courses are reviewed to make sure the objectives are being met. So we allow them to, just directly link to there. There's another module called Information for Students. This has a Canvas help page with information about how to submit an assignment, how to take a quiz, post to a discussion. And again, faculty can publish or unpublish the content in that module, depending on how they're using it. We also developed a student resource page that I'll show you in a minute that has links to all of the resources within the institution for students. There are system requirements, and then also information about proctored exams. We use HonorLock to proctor exams that are high stakes and in online courses. So we provide information for both faculty on how to use HonorLock, as well as for students on how to download the extension for HonorLock. The final thing that's in the framework are institutional policies. And that includes our withdrawal policy, accessibility statements, and privacy statements. Those are in there because they satisfy checklist items. We think that that's something that students should have access to easily and quickly, so we've put them inside the framework. This graphic will show you what the home page of the framework looks like. We do have information in the framework on how they can customize this, how they can change this graphic at the top to something else that they would like to use, how they can change the course card to a specific graphic that they have. But it provides that basic information in your course name and number, instructor contact, office hours. There's a button that says click here to get started that takes students to the module so they know exactly how to start the course, as well as copyright information. And again, those are all checklist items. The next page that I wanted to show you is the student resources page. So this is a page that we developed in the eLearning Center that has links to different resources that students will use often. These are all hyperlinked, so they can get there directly. It links out to a new page as well. But technical support, the library, all of that students may need a resource for is all in one page. We also use Blackboard Ally. So we have made sure that this page is accessible with Ally. Everything has alternative text. All of our color contrast is set up, so we don't have to worry about any accessibility issues on there. We also, in the ELC, started offering some more intense training. In the past, we had been offering in-person webinars and in-person workshops as well as webinars. We would do a boot camp at the beginning of every semester. But because we're so spread out, Collin County is a fairly large county, we are so spread out that we really weren't able to hit a lot of faculty. We would have maybe 5 or 6 at each in-person workshop. So when COVID hit, we started creating more information and resources for faculty that were available online and also 24/7. One of those was we developed a Canvas course called Teaching with Canvas at Collin College, and it is required of all faculty that want to teach online. We encourage all faculty in general to take it. It is online for faculty, and it is self-paced and self-enrolled. They can enroll at any time. There are some deliverables and quizzes that they have to work their way through, but then they do get a certificate at the end, and we keep a database of those certificates so we can always test it. It introduces faculty to some of the very basic concepts in Canvas, as well as some best practices that they would want to implement. As a Quality Matters institution, all of our designers also are facilitators. We offer APPQMR, IYOC, and DYOC at our institution directly through our staff, which greatly reduces any cost. So we pass those courses on to faculty, full-time and part-time free. They don't have to pay anything to take one of those as long as they register through us. We do APPQMR and IYOC both via Zoom as well as online. DYOC, we only do it via Zoom. And we don't have a huge enrollment yet for DYOC. It's fairly new for us, but we just offered one this week and we had our highest enrollment yet. So that was really nice. The nice thing too about offering these through our own staff is we can have fairly low enrollments. You know, we can have 5 or 6 people in each one and still let it run. It's not going to be a big deal for us. We have started alternating them. So 1 month we'll offer APPQMR via Zoom and IYOC online, and then we'll reverse them the next month. And we offer DYOC once a semester. A new workshop that we just created, as with the Ally coming into us as an institution, is addressing accessibility. We have 2 different versions of it. One, again, is self-paced, self-enrolled online via Canvas. There are 3 levels of completion, and faculty receive a certificate for each level, and they build upon one. They can't go straight to level 3. They have to do level 1 and 2, and then they can get to level 3. We also offer something very similar to that, which is making your Canvas courses accessible. That one is a 2-hour workshop via Zoom, and we offer that one once a month. So every month faculty can sign up for a time there as well. So here's another little Menti for you. Before I start talking about how we use the review system, I wanted to ask you what word comes to mind when you think about a course review. So again, you can scan that or type in the code. And then after I talk about our review process, I'll show you the results. So in the pre-review process, we again did an audit to look at what courses already had an existing template and were offered online and what didn't. We were lucky enough to be able to provide CARES funding to faculty to develop templates, with the assumption that they're developing a very generic template that can be used or adopted by any other faculty. So we asked our deans, our academic and workforce deans, to review the list that we came up with in our audit and determine what the priority level should be, and then also to assign a lead faculty member to that development team. The lead faculty can choose to add other development members, but the stipend that was paid was based on the course. So if you had 10 people developing a course, it got divided by 10 and the amount went way down. So a lot of the times the faculty would choose to do it on their own or with 1 or 2 other people. We would send them an email with all the information they needed about the process, the checklist that would be used, how it works, what the steps were, and what their next step was. The lead faculty would work with the ELC staff to assist in the design. We requested that they add the Canvas course framework to the template because it satisfies so many checklist items and it made the process a little easier. We asked that one team member conduct a self-review in QM using our customized rubrics that we had developed, and then provide a copy of that self-review to us so we could add it to the template. The QM coordinator would then create a review application, and our ELC staff would do a preliminary review of the course as well. So we had essentially 2 reviews that were conducted before the formal online advisory review. The lead faculty would complete a course worksheet that would act as the roadmap for the review team. So then the review team was assigned, and we followed the Quality Matters system in that we had a 3-member team. One was a subject matter expert, one was a lead of the review, and then a 3rd reviewer. The online advisory board ended up getting very backlogged this past semester. So we switched out the lead reviewer from an OAB member to a member of the ELC staff. One of our designers acted as a reviewer and the lead reviewer of the team. So it was still a 3-person team. It was 2 people from our online advisory board and then 1 person from our e-learning center. The review team would enter the course as a student and then review it using our custom checklist in the Quality Matters system. And this was great because everything ended up getting stored in Quality Matters. The course worksheet, the individual rubrics, and then the final report as well. We again followed Quality Matters in that each required standard had to be met at an 85% level and the majority rules. Since it was a 3-member team, we had that option. Review. When a course was marked as standards met, we would generate a final report as a PDF from Quality Matters, provide that to the faculty that developed the course along with any other team members, their associate dean, and their dean. When the course was met, then the dean would release payment to the faculty from CARES, so they could get paid that way. If a course was marked as not met, the same information was generated and sent to the same group, but then it started going through the amendment process. We didn't put a limit on the amendment process time or number of amendments because we just wanted to make sure that these courses got through. The advantage also of having a designer as the lead of the review was that designer then could work closely with the developer to make sure that it was meeting standards. So here is the result of that mentee. Kind of gives you a little bit of a word cloud there. Defensiveness, that was interesting. So this is generally what our course worksheet looks like, our rubric. We have 5 standards, 5 general standards, with general standard 5 being recommended and not required, and then specific standards within each general standard. The general standards 1 through 4 were a must meet. Faculty had to meet those in order to have the course as met standards. General standard 5 was recommended. It didn't have to be met. We didn't put a points threshold. It was just you had to meet general standards 1 through 4. And then this is what it looks like when it came into the Quality Matters system. So it looks just like a Quality Matters review. For those who haven't done MyCRs, it just has your own name at the top and your information. So over that time frame, the last 2 years, we've accomplished a lot. We had 328 courses that were reviewed, almost 300 met standards. In June, we had 1 meet standard, so now we are at the official 300 mark, but I wanted to keep May to May. We generated and created policies and procedures on how to conduct these reviews. They have been modified over time. We compiled and refined an updated review rubric, and we are continuing to update that. We have a new rubric coming out in fall. We developed a procedure guide and onboarding program. It's actually a Canvas course that any OAB member is in as a student. They can go back and refer to some of the information in there, but also new OAB members will go through that course and work their way through in order to become a member. Over 1,100 QM workshops were completed by our faculty in that 2 years, and 435 completed our Teaching with Canvas certificate. Because the workshops were free to our faculty, and we have 3 that we offer, many of them completed multiple workshops, which is really nice to see. In order to teach online at Collin College, faculty have to complete 1 QM workshop as well as Teaching with Canvas. And there are no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you don't do it, your class is taken away and it's given to someone else. So it is really important for them. Our next steps are establishing new priorities. We have pretty much worked our way through the list that was initially created in 2020 by our deans. So now we're looking at what are we going to do going forward. And that may mean that we start looking at our hybrid courses again, or maybe we're going to start looking at cyclical reviews for courses that have gone through 2 years or more ago. We are updating training opportunities for faculty. We have our Teaching with Canvas. At Collin College, we're creating another course called Growing with Canvas. And Growing with Canvas will include more online tools like how to be better on camera, how to use Blackboard Ally now that we're an Ally institution, best practices, using some of the more advanced tools in Canvas like learning outcomes and mapping those. I also submitted a grant to provide the teaching online certification from QM to up to 25 faculty and staff. I'm still waiting to hear if that gets approved or not, but if that does, that will be a great opportunity for our faculty to be able to complete that training. As I mentioned, we are updating our rubric. Now that we are using Blackboard Ally, we are removing all accessibility standards from our rubric. Before a course can get to the online advisory board, it has to be run through Ally with a designer. Our minimum score is 70, which I know seems low, but Ally considers anything over 67 to be in the green and accessible. So we thought 70 at this point in this first go around was probably a reasonable number. We are also mandating that faculty have to use the Canvas course framework, so we're able to remove all of those standards as well. This will reduce our checklist and hopefully speed up the process a little bit. That's it. I know I talked really fast. I'm sorry about that, but I know my time is running short, so I wanted to make sure I got it all in. And Ursula, were there any questions that I can answer?
I do not see any questions in the chat. Yeah, thank you for an amazing presentation. This is beautiful and also really informative. A lot of work is going into this initiative. So thank you for all that you're doing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I guess if that's it, unless anybody has any questions, thank you so much for coming to this session, and we'll see you folks later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.